You going on a road trip this summer? Worried your hips are going to hurt like crazy and it's going to be really uncomfortable? Well, I've got one really nice movement sequence for you to do anytime you stop. So here's the deal. You have to get out of the car every time you're at a rest stop or you stop for gas, even if you're not driving and you don't need to. Get out of the car. That's step number one. Step number two, be okay doing something other than just standing still. It can be kind of intimidating to do some kind of an exercise or look weird in front of other people at the gas station or whatever. Just do it. You will be so much happier. Step number three, find your vehicle. Here it is. Pop your hands on it. And you're going to have your feet sort of wide, a little bit away, hands here. So you're leaning a little bit. I want you to push into the car, sit your butt back, okay? We're going to go into a side lunge, okay? So shift your weight to the left-hand side. You get a nice stretch on the inside of that thigh. We're just going to go side to side for a minute. Play around. See if you can get your feet to be kind of parallel. Really feel that. Now, after you've grooved that for a second, think about letting your get a stretch this way too. You can push into the car with your arms. You can see if you can use you can just sort of flop back and forth, but I want you to actually use your muscles to transition you too. So you go into a bit of a stretch here, and then see if you can create some resistance by pushing against the ground on both feet to make you go the other way. So the active muscle is going to be good rather than just flopping, right? So see the difference? Flop, flop. You can pretend you're trying to push through a bunch of thick, wet cement or something like that to give yourself that resistance all the way through. That's going to make a difference. Now, next part. So we've got this side to side. It's starting to loosen up a little bit. Think about when you're driving, you don't really get anything going on these inner thighs, right? So you're getting a little bit of that going on. Some support, muscles working a little bit here. Now I want you to start thinking about, you're in the side plank, pushing back and doing a bit of a circle, right? So side lunge, hip comes back. Yeah? I'm just going to play with that same thing, that activation, create the resistance for yourself. And then when you sort of have a bit of that swoop back, maybe you have to step a little forward. Swoop back. Then you can start also leaning forward. Now I don't want you to lean forward like this, where you're sort of pushing this leg bone forward into the thing. Just a little bit. Allow yourself to you'll be able to start tracking where the stretch is happening, right? So just a little bit so you can start to wrap around a little to that front side because that gets real tight in the car. Feels so good. You can also just come into this with your butt back and think about tipping just the pelvis. Right? So you round here, arch here, round and arch. Nice. And then try that in all your different positions, right? So I'm in that side lunge, doing that bit of a pelvic tilt, just the pelvis. Try it on the other side. You'll notice different things happen in your muscles and your legs as a result. Somewhere in the middle back, try it. Just go all the way. Even here you can go front and back, right? When you're in that sort of front leaning position. Good. Do that for, 2 minutes. You'll feel great. When you get back in the car, things aren't going to hurt, okay? And then the trick is to stop again. This driving for 4 hours straight is crazy. Even if you only stop for 2 minutes, whenever you see a rest stop, do this little sequence, you're going to feel so much better. So please take this tip, take this tip on your next trip, and tell me how it goes. Tell me if it made a difference for you or not. Have fun.